Hey guys, so just got back from the theater from seeing Philomena. I know this movie's been out for a couple months now, and I'm late in the game in seeing it, but this movie just came to my movie theater this past Friday, and my movie theater is really freaking weird when it comes to these kinds of movies, especially around Oscar season. It's very random, like which movies come and which don't. Usually, if a movie's a favorite to win Best Picture, it will be at my movie theater. But other than that, you'll probably not see a lot of them come to it. There's a lot of movies I want to see, like Dallas Buyers Club, Inside Llewellyn Davis, and Nebraska are three that come to the top of my mind that look really good, but probably will never come to my movie theater. I don't know, maybe they will. Um, my movie theater loves to surprise me every so often. I was surprised this movie got over there. Um, but anyways, I've been hearing really good things about this movie, and honestly, until a couple of days ago, I didn't really know what the movie was about. All I knew was that it starred Judi Dench and Steve Coogan, and Judi Dench was getting a lot of praise for her role in the movie. And I finally did get around to reading the plot, and I'm like, it's a little bit of a generic plot, but it could be all right. And I saw the trailer, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't look too bad. That could be interesting. And I said, hell, it should be a hell lot better than fucking her. Hell, anything could be better than her. That movie was. If you haven't seen my review for that movie, I didn't love that. Really like that movie at all. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever watched. Just to recap my last review. Um, but this looked a hell lot better. Definitely. It didn't look like I would be just sitting there going, "What the fuck am I watching the whole time?" But yeah, I was kind of going in with a lot of hype, and you know what? This movie was really, really good. I highly recommend this movie, Philomena. This was a really interesting story, really fucked up story, but a really interesting story at the same time. Judi Dench, there's not enough praise that can go towards her with this role. She is fucking awesome in this movie. She's the sweetest old lady I've ever fucking met. You just want to reach out and give her a hug half time for this movie. For all the shit that she's dealing with in this film, she still has high spirits and still is forgiving for all the people that wronged her. And it's pretty amazing, you know. A woman could do that, forgive the people that have wronged her, like the nuns, which I'll talk about the nuns in a minute. But, you know, she's like this really sweet old lady, and I love Judi Dench to death. And I think, ain't she about to retire from acting, or has she retired from acting? If so, you know, this is one of her best roles, and this is one of her last. Definitely a great way to end her career. Uh, I hope. I would honestly venture to guess that she should be a favorite to win Best Actress this year. Um, Over people like Sandra Bullock and stuff. I can't really think of an actress that deserves this more than her. It's sad that she didn't win at the Golden Globes, but I think now that I've seen that, I think she should have. I've never seen the Kate Blanchett. I know Kate Blanchett won instead of her for Blue Jasmine, and I've never seen that movie, so I don't know whether her role's as good as uh, Judi Dench's, but maybe it is. Um, but yeah, her she's I don't think there's nothing I could say that nobody else has said. Everybody else has said before me about her role in this movie. You haven't seen it. She is really good. Definitely recommend it. I like Steve Coogan a lot too. He's an actor I've seen a lot more in comedies. This movie is a comedy, but it's 50-50. It's I would say 80% of it's a drama and 20% of it's a comedy, and it balances both of those really well in this movie. And Steve Coogan has some funny moments, and so does actually Judi Dench has some of the best lines in this movie. She has, even when the scene's really heartbreaking, she can deliver some pretty funny lines. Um, and he's really good. And honestly, I kind of liked Steve Coogan a lot towards the end because his reaction toward the shit that happens at the end of this movie would be the exact same reaction I would have. I can understand where he's coming from, and I can understand where Judi Dench is coming from. I mean, that's one of the best things about this movie is that you can understand, you can sympathize with both characters. You can see where they're coming from. That's pretty cool. Um, Really, those are the two standout performances because that's the main. They're both the main focus of the movie. There isn't really other one big standout performance other than those two, but they carry this movie. This movie follows them mostly throughout the whole film. Um, this story, one of the best things about this, I love the story of this film. It is really good and it's really fucked up. If you don't know the story about it, Judi Dench plays this woman named Philomena Lee, who, when she was in her teenage years, was living in an orphanage with a bunch of nuns in Ireland because her father just basically left her there. Her mom had died, and her dad wanted nothing to do with her. And she one day meets a boy at a fair, and she ends up knocked up. And of course, the nuns frown upon it. And to the point that they actually, during her giving birth, the baby breaches inside of her. So instead of like bringing in a real life doctor, instead of having nuns trying to deliver the baby, the main nun tells them to not bring a real doctor because if this baby dies, it's God's will. And this this way of thinking has caused a lot, as you would find out later, a lot of the women and the children to die at childbirth. But luckily, she survives. The baby survives, and even when she's given birth to this baby, the nuns only let her and the other girls. The other girls also have had kids, and apparently the orphanage over there is very busy. I mean, well, if such strict rules, what else do you expect? And they only allow these girls to see their babies for like maybe 2 hours a day, and that's it. And that's really sad. I call these nuns the Nazis, Nazi nuns, although they have nothing to do with the Nazi party or anything like that. But they are like fucking Nazis. They are terrible fucking people. If I were a nun, I would hate this movie because how nuns are portrayed. But there are nuns that there are strict nuns like these out there. But I don't know if they're as. I wonder if they're as extreme. I don't know. Maybe they are. Apparently they are because there is been cases because this movie is based off a true story. Anyways, eventually, this is kind of getting a little bit of spoiler territory, but eventually these nuns start taking money from American couples so that these American couples can come over to Ireland and take these babies and adopt them as their own and take them back to America. That's fucked up beyond belief. So obviously Judi Dench's baby gets taken, and the movie takes place at the beginning when she's older and she's still trying to find out what happened to her kid. And she meets Steve Coogan, who's a disgraced kind of reporter slash a guy who used to work for the Prime Minister, and he had just got fired from his job with the Prime Minister. He's kind of still trying to be a journalist that's at the same time, and he is trying to find a story, and he comes across this story, which he's hesitant at first about reporting on the story, but as he starts seeing the story unfold, he gets more interested and more involved with this story and really starts caring for this woman. And Steve Coogan and Judi Dench are really good in this movie. They have really good chemistry. They have really witty banter back and forth together. And when this movie needs to be dramatic, it's very dramatic. it takes some really, really sad turns. Halfway through this movie, you get a really heart wrenching reveal. I won't reveal what happens because I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. You find out something that's really sad and kind of changes the tone of the movie from that point forward. But it also, while being really heart wrenching, it also has some still generally funny moments, even though what's going on is really heart wrenching. And like, I mean, being a person that's not religious at all, this movie makes me hate religion even more, especially nuns, the people that follow the religion, like the Catholic religion. Um, I mean, I know I can understand. I mean, it's awesome to see like a person like Philomena Lee basically forgive these nuns for what they did to her, because they do. She does. She doesn't want to live her life full of hate, which I can understand. But at the same time, if it was me in my shoes, I would not be the same way. I would be really vengeful against these people. I mean, that's just me, but I know. I mean, you know, everybody's different, and it's cool to see like a lady be able to do that. I forgive those kinds of people. For all the stuff that they put her through in this movie, it's just terrible. It is really fucked up. It is. It really is. And you find out later that they're, I think at the end of the credits, this lady's still alive. She actually was at the Golden Globes. If you didn't see the Golden Globes, she was. Her and Steve Coogan came out on stage to talk about the movie, and it was really cool. That was. I don't think she said any. But I don't remember her saying anything during the ceremony. But maybe she did. I can't remember. But she's still kicking. Apparently, she's 80 years old, still kicking. Good for her. And they said at the end of the movie that there's a lot of Irish-born kids that have not been accounted for and that are still looking for their long lost parents that they were taken from. And it's kind of sad that this stuff happened. You know. It shows how fucking greedy the fucking churches can be. I mean, they basically took money from American couples who could afford to adopt kids from Ireland. That's really fucked up. But yeah, it's a really interesting story. I really found the story fascinating. That's one of the things I really love about this movie. And it's directed by the guy that made Stephen Frears, who made The Queen, who I love The Queen. I thought that was a really good movie. I never thought I could sympathize with the royal family, but that movie made me sympathize with the Queen and the royal family really well, and I think that was a really good movie. And this movie is just as good, in my opinion. Highly recommend this movie a lot. I could talk about previews real quick. I keep getting this. Literally, I got the same previews that I got with her, I think. I forgot to mention a couple of these. Two really confusing trailers that I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. I got Winter's Tale, which is Colin Farrell, a movie with Colin Farrell, where it's like set in like the 18th century or 19th century or something. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, he time travels to the present. And I didn't get what the fuck was going on in that trailer. And somehow Russell Crowe's chasing him and he's a sorcerer or something. I don't fucking know what's going on. It's a romantic. It's basically about long lost love they had in the 18th century. And it's really fucking confusing. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Somebody tell me what the hell is going on in that trailer. I didn't get it one bit. And the other one was that Divergent. It's trying to be the new Hunger Games. It's taking place in a post-apocalyptic world where the Shailene Woodley, the girl from Descendants, the teenager from Descendants, who's now like in every fucking movie, because you gotta try to make her a big star. And I like her. I do like her. I want to see more of her. But now apparently she's gonna be in every fucking movie. But Uh, I don't know what's going on in that fucking trailer either. I'm like, I know it's based off a book, but I couldn't tell what. Something about like the test that the government makes these teenagers take, and it's like it seems like a fucking just a Hunger Games ripoff. Honestly, it really does. Uh, it's just trying to cash in on the success of the Hunger Games. I don't see this being doing very well. It's like how movies like a lot of those adult or young adult books uh, were trying to cash in on Twilight. Now there's ones that are trying to cash in on Hunger Games, and I see this one not doing as well as the Hunger Games at all. Apparently, this book series has a huge following, but I don't know if it's gonna be as big as fucking Hunger Games. I don't see that happening. Um, Maybe it'll be good, but I don't really know what the fuck is going on in that trailer. I don't understand what the hell is going on. Maybe I'm just too tired and don't understand. I don't know. Those two trailers are really confusing. But if anybody wants to explain it to me, you can in the comments. Um, Anyways, highly recommend Philomena. Definitely go see that before it leaves the theater, or wait till it comes on DVD. Whatever you want to do. I'll be back Friday with Devil's Due Ride Along and Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. Three movies that look pretty good, so there's hoping that they actually are really good. So until then, I'll talk to you guys later.